Smart Library adds an editor window which lets you create collections of assets so you can quickly and easily find the assets you're looking for. To start setting up your collections, you need to first open the Smart Library window. This can be done either through the menu Window, Smart Library, or by using the shortcut keys Shift and L. On the left of the window is the Collections panel, which shows the collections in the library, and on the right is the Assets panel, which shows the assets of the selected collection. The assets can be dragged and dropped from here to anywhere else in the project, just like you can from the project browser. At the top of the Collections panel is an item which shows all of the unique assets that are in a collection in the library. Additionally, using the toggle in the toolbar, the Collections panel can be collapsed when you don't need it. In the footer, there are options for determining the asset display size and whether to view them in a list or grid view. The assets displayed in the Asset panel have custom-generated previews that are higher resolution and have better lighting than the default previews. There is also a small icon in the corner that displays the asset's type. Along with this, selecting an asset in the Smart Library window will show it in the inspector, but will not move the project browser, so you do not need to worry about losing where you are. We can add a new collection using the Create drop-down in the toolbar and select a collection type. By default, Smart Library comes with several types of collections that each serve their own purpose. Let's start with creating a standard collection, which is one of the main types of collections. The standard collection allows you to manually add and remove assets to the collection by simply dragging and dropping them from anywhere in your project. They can be dropped in either the Assets panel or directly into the collection in the Collections panel. You can also use the menu item in the project browser to add assets to the selected collection. Along with that, you can quickly add all the assets in a folder by dragging and dropping it into a collection like you would any other asset. And since collections just reference assets, they can be added to multiple collections without any problems, allowing you to organize them however you like. Collections can form a hierarchy and be reordered and parented to each other. This provides an extra level of organization. Each collection has its own settings which can be accessed either through the context menu or the gear icon. In these settings is a rules list. Rules let you define conditions that an asset needs to meet to be added to the collection. There are multiple types of rules, each one evaluating a different aspect of an asset to determine if it can be added to the collection. If the default rules that are in Smart Library don't suit your needs, you can always use the API to add your own. Every rule has an operand, which determines how it is evaluated in relation to the other rules. Using the menu that is to the right of every rule, you can add it to a scope with other rules. Rules in a scope are evaluated separately from the rest of the rules in the list. In this collection, if we only want to allow river prefabs, we first add a type rule and set it to GameObject. Then add a name rule, setting it to require the name to contain the word river. Now only prefabs with the word river in their name will be allowed in the collection. Clicking this button will automatically update the collection with the new rules, removing any assets that don't match the rules. If you make a mistake, don't worry, because this action supports undo. Let's say we want this other collection to allow both river and dirt prefabs. To do this, we will need to use a rules scope. We first add the type rule, again setting it to GameObject. We then add two name rules, setting one to contain the word dirt and the other to contain the word river. We now set the second one's operand to OR and create a scope with the rule above. Now, only prefabs whose names contain river or dirt can be added. While standard collections are nice, they can also require a lot of manual upkeep as you add and remove assets to your project. That is where the other main type of collection comes in, smart collections. They help automate the process of organizing your assets by finding assets in the project that match its rules and adding them to the collection. They also have a list of folders that can search either exclusively or exclude. You can select a folder from the menu or drag and drop one from the project browser. You can also set whether it should take into account only the assets directly in the folder or also account for the assets in its subfolders. There's a third unique kind of collection in Smart Library, and that is the compound collection. It gets assets by referencing other collections and adding their assets to itself. It has the option to automatically get assets from its sub-collections, which makes it great for acting as a high-level parent for a number of more detailed collections. That covers most of what Smart Library can do. Thank you for watching.